Hi everyone, I want to turn you on to an energy drink I found called Dino Luzzi. It's made in Italy. It's really good. It gives me a lot of energy. I drink it at my gym, where it's sold, and it's sold in other stores. So please go out and purchase one. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Welcome everyone to the Bettor and the Bookmaker. I'm Hollywood Wade Williamson. This is Anthony Ruggiano, former proposed member of the Gambino crime family. How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Well, folks, this will be a joint partnership between Reformed Gangsters Podcast and my particular show, Crime and Entertainment. We're going to try to come to you every week and give you sports picks because football, Anthony, is right around the corner,
Yes.
as you well know.
Yes, it is, and the bookmakers are going like this right now, getting ready to start counting all that cash.
And the bettors think they're going to be doing that right there.
Exactly.
And so that's what we're going to get into here. We've got the preseason is finishing up week 3. You don't have that in the NCAA. They're starting this week. I myself, I don't like to pick NCAA the first week because you don't have a handle on what they're going to do. You know, what's your take on that?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, I go by like the systems, you know what I mean? Like the colleges, some colleges have better systems than other colleges. So like I'll lean towards that. But, you know, right now I don't know much about the teams. And I'm a Spartan at heart because, you know, my daughter graduated from Michigan State. So really, and I personally don't bet college football that much, but I have booked it many times and not in the beginning.
Well, the lines are just so much more extravagant. I mean, you got people laying 40, 50, sometimes 60 points.
Right.
You know, I've seen lines over and unders as high as 79, 80 points with some of these teams. So it's really hard to gauge, especially when you don't have anything to go off of, and if you don't follow it to the extent of what players left, what players they retained from the previous year. So I think for week 1, our bettors are going to get the advice from the NFL. I think that's the best way to go.
Me too.
Now, being that I am a Carolina guy, this is not favoritism, folks. I promise you, because I do not even like to bet on my home team. I think it's bad juju. However, Carolina gets Baker Mayfield from the Cleveland Browns. As you know, and it's still in the news right now, they acquired Deshaun Watson and all of his baggage that come along with that. So Baker's going to have a grudge. I would think deservedly so. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, without a doubt. Definitely. The guy was completely disrespected, kicked to the curb, and he's at home now.
Yeah.
You know, he's only a 1.5-point favorite. Definitely. Coming from a better standpoint, I like that, but I always think of it as a bookmaker, and the lines are made for bookmakers. But I think that Carolina is strong this week, without a doubt.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, they're home. That's a huge deal, especially in week 1. Jacoby Brissett, I believe right now, is slated to start for quarterback. I mean, he's a serviceable backup. Definitely a capable guy, but I just don't think that's a little bit too much for them to overcome week 1. Plus, Baker will have the biggest chip on his shoulder I think you can possibly have.
And I think being at home is a huge edge. Home teams have a huge edge, and in a game like that, the guy's going to have, this crowd on his side. He has something to prove. So I definitely agree with that 100%.
And especially McCaffrey's also going to be healthy. He's very dynamic when he's available to play.
Most
he's
definitely.
been hurt the last few years, so hopefully he can stay healthy. And they're getting a lot of their team back from last year. It was hurt. Joe Horn, who was their rookie, went out midseason. So I think that is a great. That's my bet of the week. I'll just lay that out there right now. Carolina minus the 1.5 at home. If you got a bookmaker or a legal bookmaker site that you can use, let's specify that.
Yes.
Go ahead and lock that in at 1.5. I think it's a great bet.
I know the bookmakers are definitely going to be rooting for Cleveland, but let's get that clear right now. I think right now, I checked before, and 74% of the money right now is going on Carolina, and that's probably going to go up by the time the game starts, which is in another week from now.
Yeah.
So the bookmakers, I believe, will be rooting for Cleveland.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this line moves to 2.5.
Without a doubt.
By the time the game starts.
Without a doubt.
So pick number 2, I'm going to go with the Washington, the Commanders now,
Commanders,
right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders, they're -3 against Jacksonville. I know a little bit about Washington's head coach, Ron Rivera, because he was the former coach of the Carolina Panthers, real defensive-minded. Again, I picked this game because of home field and the importance of home field.
Yes.
And Jacksonville, just everything they went through last year, getting Urban Meyer, him leaving midseason. You still got a young rookie, or not rookie, but first-year quarterback in there with Trevor Lawrence. I don't think they're going to be quite ready to pull out a win against Washington in week 1. Maybe if they was middle of the season, it might be a tougher game to pick, but I think laying 3 with Washington at home is another great pick.
Without a doubt. Yeah, Jacksonville on the road, not that game, without a doubt. Definitely not. That's another game where the bookmakers will be rooting for Jacksonville, another road team.
Well, now I like to throw in a total here and there because we got your totals you can go to. I like the Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. It's over right now. I think it's set at 44.5. Now, obviously, we know from last year Cincinnati hit a stride towards the end of the season. They were blowing up points, and a lot of times, too, especially in the playoffs, they would fall behind 2 scores and then rally and win late. So those kind of the teams that you want to look out for that can rebound and, put up points on the board. I know Pittsburgh lost Ben Roethlisberger, but the indication to the preseason is they're going to sling it.
Yeah,
and they've got quite a few quarterbacks there that can sling it.
Yeah,
all the guys are good.
Without a doubt, them kids look good. And I agree with that also. 44 should go over. I mean, definitely going to score a lot of points. I don't like to bet the under and over because as a bookmaker, now I know the next thing we're going to talk about is the teaser. I know I'm jumping ahead, but as a bookmaker, I want people to bet under and overs. I want people to bet teasers. I want people to bet parlays. But coming from your angle, yeah, definitely 44. I like the over.
Absolutely. I think that's a great bet. I believe Cincinnati is home there, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the last time they played, it was like 44-10 or something like that. So by that ration, Cincinnati almost covered that over by themselves, but minus a half a point from last year.
And they are a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, they're very ready. Didn't really lose much. Got a few extra pieces, so should be good to watch. Now you mentioned the teasers. For people that don't know, sometimes the average bettor might just pick a team here and there, but a teaser is where you can sway the point line. So for instance, you got Baltimore and the Jets. Baltimore is a 6.5 point favorite. So if you put them on a 7-point teaser, you then bring Baltimore to actually plus half a point. So those usually involve 2 games, but the catch is you have to win both games to win the money. Again, an edge for the bookmaker because it's hard enough to win one, but when you got to win 2, they call them sucker bets.
Yes, they do. And, years ago, there used to be 3-team teasers that were 10 points. And, when a gambler looks at that, go, wow, it looks so blatant to make these teams that are 10-point favorites even money. You think it's a sure thing, but bookmakers want teaser bets. I used to love to book teaser bets. Like I said, any kind of exotic betting. The reason why they have it is because everything's geared up for the bookmakers. All these lines, we could talk about them all day. People have to remember the lines are put out for the bookmaker. Everything's geared for the bookmaker. Everything's geared for the casino. It's not geared for you and I. Absolutely. They don't. If we win, they go out of business. But today, there's a lot of information out there. Today, the percentage is of winnings for the bookmaker is less because of the information, the internet, a lot of stuff that there's. Like when I was a kid, there was no information. Like we had to find out what the weather was. We had to call up that state and talk and listen to a weather recording. Now you just go online and you find out it's raining in Buffalo, it's snowing in Washington, because all that plays into what the line is. So it's,
absolutely, and that's another thing I probably should mention. I'm going off clear weather right now for that over and under in Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. If weather would be hard rain, obviously we would go and reevaluate that situation. But you're absolutely correct, and I think fantasy football has probably played a lot into that of getting information, because that's a huge deal now.
Very big.
Everybody's playing fantasy football, seems like. Even I know moms that play it, for crying out loud. So that information is definitely out there as opposed to years ago, back when you were in this business. People didn't have access to that. Again, edge to the bookmaker. But still, even with all that, there's a reason why these places are still in business.
Yeah, I mean, gambling is fun. Listen, I was in a casino last night. The penny slot machines, you couldn't get a seat at the penny. There was rows of penny slot machines and the gray-headed people at every seat. You couldn't get, people just like to gamble. It's fun.
Absolutely. Well, our teaser bet right here, we are going to use Baltimore in our teaser. We're going to make them plus a half a point over the New York Giants. And then on my other one, I've got really a combination. I lean Cincinnati as minus 6.5 against Pittsburgh. So you can make Cincinnati plus a half a point and put them together. Or I like Carolina also because they're minus the 1.5. So that would give them a cushion there as well. So definitely Baltimore. And then you can swap out either Cincinnati or Carolina Both of those guys will be at home, and basically at that point, a field goal for them would win the game, even though I think it'll be more than that. I think the bookmakers think also. So that is our bets this week for the Bettor and the Bookmaker.
Have a good day.